Hello and welcome to Nope There's Only Trash Here podcast, episode 61. The day today is the 14th of September 2014. So joining me this week is the lovely Protomario.
Hi guys.
And the distracted CowsCrazy.
Huh? What? Move!
So are you still playing the Smash Brothers demo?
No, I closed it, but I can reopen it if you want to hear the nice music.
Well, we could do, just as proof, because I don't believe you're really playing it, so...
I'm playing it. I just won as Mega Man, and I don't know how.
Copyright infringement.
Oh, shoot.
This video has been taken down due to copyright.
Oh, copyright music.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, maybe it's because, you're so good at Mega Man that those skills have transferred over to Smash Bros.
You apparently have not seen any of my LPs of Mega Man, otherwise you wouldn't be saying that.
Oh.
He's had some good times with Mega Man.
Hmm. So what? So you've played one whole fight, right?
Yeah. Against Link and Pikachu, and I was victorious.
Nice.
Mm.
And I don't know how.
Mm.
Mega Man.
That's good. That's good. Because he's Mega.
Hmm. Because it's like, so you're saying how you didn't get a code, but someone gave you a code. And then...
Someone gave me a code, yes. I'll thank you, Cyndaquil, if you're listening, for the code.
See, I don't quite get exactly what... Like, when I heard that they were giving out codes, but you got multiple ones, at first I thought that was some sort of, like, marketing scheme.
Oh, people gave out Oh, okay, see, I didn't know that. I just thought some people got a code and didn't want it, and that's why they were giving it away. But now I understand, okay.
Yeah, you get multiple codes, and I think you would hope that it's so you can play multiplayer with your friends, but I secretly think it's marketing. So people can go out on the internet, spread Smash Brothers, talk about it, share it with everyone, and then just spread it that way.
That totally makes sense, because then, they're using the social media to talk about it. Who wants a code, blah, blah. That's how I figured it out. I just saw people spamming, like, who wants a code, and I'm like, well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, who else is going to say yes, so I might as well say yes.
Yeah. And they're going to put out the demo anyway. I think on the 19th the demo goes live for everyone, so this is just kind of some sort of media viral thing that they've created.
Oh, okay, I thought the whole game went live on the 19th.
No, it comes out on the 3rd, or the 3rd of October for us, and it's already out in Japan.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's just...
Am I the only one that doesn't want to waste his time on the demo? Like,
Whoa.
It's literally just a GIMP version of the full game. It's not...
It's very
like, am I the
now.
only one who doesn't want to waste my time on it?
So have you not used your code that you received then?
Yeah, I didn't get a code.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's a shame.
Poor Proto.
Yeah, it's not like I do,
Proto! What about all the great fun action you can have?
It's not like I do anything associated with Nintendo or anything.
You barely like Mario or Mega Man. It's just not your deal.
Jigglypuff confirmed, though.
Oh, nice. So with Smash Bros. Coming out in Japan and the demo coming out, we're now getting a lot of details. I don't know if you guys want to go over all the separate characters, but I'm not that fast until I've actually played them.
Yep. I just lost now.
No.
I don't know how. I just lost.
Right, I'm going to write down your ratio.
I'm happy that Jigglypuff has been added and Ness has been added, but that was not at all a surprise to me.
No. I mean, they had to make all the original characters return.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get off on a side note here, but whenever people are like doing predictions for games like this, like with the Megas, with the new Pokemon remake, it's just like I hold my face so hard. Because people are like, oh, I don't know if Ness is gonna come back. I don't know if Jigglypuff's gonna... Like, dude, you know. Like,
yeah. And it got confirmed, so terrific.
And everyone's like, oh man, Ness is here. I'm so happy. And it's like, you knew he was coming. Like, why wouldn't
Not really. Not really. It's not a guarantee, because people get worried about things like that, because it's almost like Smash Brothers is a barometer for if a series has been forgotten or not. So if he's not in it, people really start to panic. But now that he's in Smash Brothers, they go, well, Nintendo's still thinking about him. there's still that 5% chance we might get a new Mother game. That's really what they're thinking.
I think it's just easier to carry over the code. They already have the character coded.
Especially after stupid Kid Icarus got a new game from its popularity from Smash Bros.
Kid Icarus Uprising.
Well, I think
everybody thinks that a Smash Bros. Character can do the same thing. That's why everybody's upset the Ice Climbers aren't in it this time. Because that's like, oh, well, now there's not going to be a new Ice Climbers game. I don't think there was going to be in the first place. Like, seriously.
I didn't like them at all, though. I always hated them.
Well, with Pit, though, like, that... He didn't get a game because he was in Smash Bros. He got a game because the guy that makes Smash Bros. Was like, I'm going to delay the new one and make a kid game because I really want to make a new Pit game. So he made that happen because he had enough power there. So unless there's somebody in Nintendo with that sort of power who can say, no, I'm bringing back Ice Climbers, and then make it happen, it's just not going to happen.
Well, like they have Captain Falcon in the game, and that keeps me going, where's my new F-Zero?
Well, was Captain Falcon in the original? Like he was, right?
Yeah.
Because that's it. I don't think they've dropped a single character from that original N64 lineup.
Yeah, they haven't dropped a single character. Even Jigglypuff came back.
Yeah. So it's only Melee where they started adding characters and then dropping them in later games.
But then they had a bunch of copies too, like clones in Melee.
Yeah. I mean, do we know like how many clones there are in this new one? Oh, well, obviously we do. We can look it up, but I haven't really checked.
Well, I know Dr. Mario came back, and he's just a clone of Mario with slightly different attack patterns.
Which really doesn't make sense, seeing that the latest game in the series was Dr. Luigi.
Yeah.
The year of Luigi is dead. It's over.
Well, it's still Dr. Luigi to me.
I would have loved to seen Death Stare Luigi bring some heat in the new Smash Brothers.
It's DLC. It's on the way. Don't worry about it.
Right.
And yeah, he gets no weapon. Just the stare will kill.
Just the stare.
Or even just a assist trophy. He just comes on screen, everyone just dies, and then he goes again.
He goes by, gives the stare, yeah.
Yeah, but, well, Smash Bros. We can nitpick all we want, but people are saying good things, right? Like, it's generally positive about this new game.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of jumping and killing, so yeah.
It's a good fighting game compared to what the genre is right now, which is two people side by side in a 3D place with way too much flashy animation and no story. And this, Smash Brothers is a lot more lighter, so it's not like, oh my god, shit, fuck, and then snap your keyboard in half because you lost one match. Like, Smash Bros. Is just more lighter,
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad
so that's what I like about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that a lot of people who play or follow Evo and are into fighting games are like, why don't you make it more competitive? And it's like, that's not what it is. You made it. You took that game and made it competitive. So I don't see why they should cater to you rather than everyone else who's just trying to enjoy a game where Jigglypuff is beating up Marth or whatever.
Beating up Ganon.
Yeah,
Lord of Darkness ain't shit to me.
Beating up everyone. That's psycho.
I think that every game, when it gets to that certain point where there's a clamoring for several different modes, that they should at least release like custom modes. So like at the very minimum, you can customize everything about the game, and then there's no more, this is unbalanced, this, that, the other. Okay, you can make your own rules, you can ban your own characters, you can allow your own characters, and you can change the whole game to how you want it, and then that will eliminate that.
As somebody who doesn't really play Smash Brothers normally, what are the modes that you normally get in a game? What's a typical mode you would get in this game?
You get some kind of adventure, but I don't think they were including that one in this one.
I'm not too sure what's in this one, but in Brawl you got that the Embassy one, that's story mode. That was
you get some kind of story mode, and then you get a versus, and then you have challenges that you can do. and like target challenges and mini games, and that's about it. Like with the verses,
I'd like some kind of a with so many characters. What would draw me personally in, and I'm probably maybe in the minority here, is some kind of a tournament mode.
Well, there is that.
Yeah, that exists in the game.
That exists? Oh, okay.
That's under versus.
Oh, that's under versus. Okay, I thought that's just a 1 versus 1. You can actually set up like a bunch of players then, like for a tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set up tons.
And in this game, it's all online. So on the 3DS, you should be able to play online tournaments, and on the Wii U version as well.
Oh, okay. Let's see. That would be more interesting.
Guys. Get your amiibos ready.
Oh. Ugh.
Cows,
I'll
did you
amiibo
pre-order
you.
yours? Did you pre-order yours, Cows?
Is there a cow amiibo?
No.
Well, I mean, Kirby's kind of a bit big.
Villager, putting a net over a cow.
I don't need my amiibos. It's okay. I'm good to go.
You could buy, like, Link and paint him with cow spots.
But I like how from our last discussion about amiibos, I was all like, the 2 main games that amiibo is going to probably be used for is Smash and Mario Kart. But then I was like, so what the fuck are you going to do if you buy, like, a Link one? And then, well, I got my answer. They put Link into Mario Kart.
I called that so hard.
That is just because of amiibo. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I think
know
so.
It is.
Although,
that's a reaction to amiibo.
Where's the Wii Fit Trainer DLC for Mario Kart? That's what I want to see.
If these ones fly, you might see it.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. If these ones go over well, like, they just went to all the they got your Animal Crossing guys, and then they put the Link in, and they went, okay, those are the big ones. People are going to be like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this thing now? Well, there you go. And if it might actually get me to buy the damn Link frickin' amiibo thing now.
No, don't do it, Cows.
I know I shouldn't!
Yes, Cows.
But it's
Yes,
drawing
Cows.
me. It's giving me a purpose now.
What purpose,
Cows,
though?
you love your figurines,
And
Cows.
are you telling me when they release this Zelda game that somehow it's not going to be amiibo assisted? Don't lie to yourself.
It'll
It's
never
going-
be. No.
Yeah,
It will.
I think it will.
Guarantee you can put your amiibo down on Wii U.
Nintendo's our friends.
No,
won't
Nintendo's
ever
not our
betray
friend.
us.
Nintendo is our enemy.
But Reggie did the Ice Bucket Challenge. She's our friend.
Yeah, he did the ice bucket challenge, Cows.
Yeah. Something so down.
Reggie.
Oh,
so
Reggie did the ice bucket challenge. Well, that changes everything then.
Pre-order.
Reggie.
You gotta pre-order it.
I'll go to Reggie. Where's my Reggie amiibo?
I want my Reggie amiibo.
Now that's something. Well, I'm surprised they haven't done that. Why didn't they put Reggie into Mario Kart? Or put Reggie into Smash Brothers? How many people would love to take fucking the Link and just beat the shit out of you, Reggie? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Well, that's why, like, when they announced the Miis, they were like, the first 2 they showed were Reggie and Iwata. It was like, these are the 2.
True. There is the Miis, and I did get Reggie's Mii on my Miiverse, so I guess it's possible to put him into the game.
Reggie. Love you, Reggie.
But we still, like, with Amiibos, I still don't know what they do. I know the price, but I still don't know what they do.
Other than, the only thing I truly understand that it does is it's a glorified external hard drive disk. It saves my information, and I can bring it somewhere else. That's the only thing I know it does.
Cool, man. But it's
That's
cool.
That's not cool.
But dude, like, amiibos.
That's a good point.
Well,
That is
that's a good
actually...
argument. That's a good point. Amiibos.
You could take them with you, Cows.
Take them with me, yeah. I could sit on the bus, and while I'm sitting on the bus, I can put my Link amiibo on my knee, and people will just look at me. And I'll go, look at amiibo.
I just
they'll be
looked
like,
at what the fuck are you looking at?
Amiibo.
Okay, here's the thing, right? If you can customize stuff in Smash Bros., that's great. And if you want to take that elsewhere, I don't know why you would, and with wireless and the internet, I don't know why it would have to be a statue, but whatever. But
it has to be a statue.
In Mario Kart 8, what is there to save and to transfer to a friend's house?
Well,
your ghosts, your maybe hold it, your online save file saves online. Yeah,
it's all online.
Whoops.
I don't know.
Neither do I. The only thing I can think of is like the cart setup you have. So if you can't be bothered to scroll through the different options to set your, which one you like, you can bring a little statue instead and put it on the thing and then connect it, and then it's like, please wait, and then it's like, there it is.
I was wanting that.
I've been searching for information on this question, and you guys might dig a little deeper and know the answer. So all this DLC now, especially the tracks, that's what I really care about, is the extra tracks. So when it comes out, when this first set comes out in November, if somebody didn't buy the DLC, will they still be available online?
What, to play online?
Yeah, because all the online courses are selected at random, right? So if I didn't buy it, will I be filtered out of any race that takes place in a DLC track?
Yep.
Is that the way it's going to work?
Well, I don't think they've confirmed that, but you would hope that wouldn't happen.
There's one of two ways that this can happen. You'll either be filtered out, or every time one of those courses is selected, you'll be kicked out. And there are games that have done that in the past, like Modern Warfare 2, when you went to play a match, and you didn't have the DLC, it would kick you right back to the lobby.
Yeah, World at War was unplayable if you didn't buy the DLC, because there were 4 different DLC packs. So you would always have a DLC map, and if you didn't have it, you just got kicked out.
Wow.
But they did fix it, though. Like in, I think, Black Ops Onwards, they did fix it so you would you wouldn't connect with people who didn't have, if they had the DLC and you didn't, you would connect with people who don't have the DLC as well.
Because I was kind of thinking it might work because if you don't go and play the single player mode, you can still play all the courses that you haven't unlocked yet online. So I was thinking it might work that way.
Well, has anyone tried to play online without downloading the Mercedes-Benz pack?
No, I downloaded it.
Because that's how we would test it, because it would mean that would it only pair you with people who don't have the pack? Because otherwise, if someone else selects it...
Oh, well, no, but that's just a car selection. These are actual courses. I would have to think that's way more important than just some car or a character.
Sure, but it's still people selecting content that you don't have. So you would think that whatever principle they have with the cars, they would have with the tracks.
True. Well, we'll find out in about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine. I think they just randomly put it with people who also don't have the DLC. But again, I don't know.
And has Nintendo given any explanation why the second pack takes all the way to May? That's a huge time gap.
No, they haven't.
That's like a long time. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It's just got to be to drag out the life cycle of the game.
That's my only guess. Is we can have this ready within a week, but we're not going to. We're going to wait till May when you're bored of the first DLC, and then we'll get you excited again for the game.
Well, it does kind of make sense with the type, because Mario Kart 8 came out in May, so then it's November, and then it's May again. So you can see where they're coming from. And maybe it's that whole thing that Nintendo were having problems initially with HD development, so maybe it does take longer. I don't know. I don't work there, but I would think that making 4 new courses and getting all these new characters going, I mean, I guess it would take a bit longer.
Yep.
I'm glad you agree.
We can just keep coming up with these excuses. But that's cool.
But no, I like how Nintendo's doing DLC at the moment, though. They haven't done any Capcom moves at the moment. It's, you have a complete game, and if you want a bit more content, they're actually releasing decent-sized packs.
Well, that's what DLC used to be. And that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be DLCing a game to finish it. That's just
I remember
ridiculous.
Back in the day when DLC was called an expansion pack. Back in my day.
Oh, you're so old, Proto, with your crazy old-timey terms.
crazy ideas about how expansion packs are supposed to be an add-on to a game, not part of the game.
Back in my day, when you wanted DLC, it was called a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah, not wrong, but I don't know. I still like it. It's fine, even though I'm young and full of vinegar or whatever.
Yeah, there you go, vinegar.
Yeah.
Full of vinegar.
Well, if we really want to win, I'm sure none of your listeners give a crap about this, but I'm going to go on my 2-minute rant here.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
you, EA Sports. Right now, I'm up on my soapbox, and I want to say, fuck you, EA Sports. I've heard all about the way you fucked over NHL 15. You put out a bare-bones piece of shit. You took out all the good modes from the game and said, here you go, you fuckers. Play this hunk of crap, and if we get around to it, we might let you download the modes that you really want later, like in a month or two after the season's already started. So here's my 2 big fucking thumbs up to EA Sports.
Thumbs up?
And they're not thumbs.
Oh.
Look between the lines.
Thumbs up their ass.
Oh dear.
There we go. I'll get off my soapbox now.
I don't want to get off on a side tangent here either, but because he's talking about EA, the Sims 4 was released earlier this week, and there's conflicting reviews and reports. So I like, they released half the game, but I'm not defending EA. I'm just saying, with a game that has so much DLC to it, how can you really be mad at them for releasing the new version with no, like, almost nothing that the other one had? Because, like, there's like 14 DLC packs for The Sims 3, and there's none for The Sims 4. It just came out, and everyone's like, oh, this version's gimped, and there's not. And then other people are like, well, it's better, it loads faster, and this and that. So, I don't know. That's another strike on EA there, I guess.
Wait, The Sims 4 came out?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I know they've been talking
I've been
about
it for a while.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for ages, but I had no clue. And usually the Sims games are a big deal. Like, usually it's kind of everywhere. Everyone's like, oh, the new Sims. But I just had no clue.
It's really cool,
What was that game EA did, like, 6 months ago or a year ago that they really fucked up on? Something about...
SimCity.
Oh, there's SimCity. See, there you go. Yeah. EA's been really fucking lacking for a while, but it really... I never thought it would cross over to the EA Sports division, because they've always put out top quality stuff, and now it's starting to leak over there, and that's just... It's very sad. EA, get your shit together.
Well, they are the people who are going to be making Star Wars games, so it's not really a good sign.
Well, that's already been Disneyed out, so...
Yeah,
you guys have
3, guys.
You Star Wars fans have more shit to worry about than that.
But I would assume with this NHL game, like, I don't care about those sort of games, that it's just, they were like, okay, we can either delay it and actually finish it, or we can get it out before the season starts, or when the season starts.
They've had 2 years to work on the HD version. 2 fucking years.
Was there not one last year then?
Not for not for PlayStation 4.
Oh.
The regular PS3 version is still just a slightly updated version of last year's game. So that one still has all the modes, everything you want, but if you want the high quality next gen version on PS4 or Xbox One, then you're getting screwed.
Oh.
Hey, Cows, what about PC? Oh.
Don't know about PC, actually.
No one ever asks about PC sports games.
And then, what was it, last year or maybe 2 years ago, they didn't finish their basketball game. They never got it out. So, EA Sports is, like, going down, and I don't know how their Madden games are doing now, but I've heard their contract's coming to an end or something like that, so their whole division might be in trouble. I don't know.
Well, they had it down. They clearly had figured out how to pump these games out every year and have the time to, make sure they're not bad. Yeah. But with next generation and them making it for both the next gen console and the new one or the old ones. It just seemed to have like completely fell apart, whatever system they had.
Well,
in
the
place.
last little while, what I've noticed is like what they used to do was they would make one game for a system, and then basically once that game was done, you would start with that exact same game again. I guess you would just put all the programming back in, and you would update it. You would update the game, maybe you would add a new mode, or you would fix something that didn't work well, but you'd still be that game at a core, and you really wouldn't get a full revitalization of the whole game until another system came out. Now it feels like every year they're just scrapping the whole thing and they're starting from scratch every year, which maybe somebody thinks that will give them fresh ideas and stuff, but at the same time, you're throwing away everything that already worked before instead of just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So there is some stuff you should be keeping and then just fix what's broken. But if they ever did that, here's the real kicker. If you just kept it and fixed everything, sooner or later they would put out the perfect game, and nobody would ever have a reason to buy the next one.
Oh, conspiracy. They're breaking it
It is
on
a conspiracy
purpose.
theory, because every time one year we were begging, like for 4 or 5 years they took out like a good creative mode and stuff like that. They finally fixed it all, and then they took other shit out of the game to put it in. So you still didn't get a really good game. You couldn't get everything you wanted. It always makes you come back, well, maybe next year they'll put it in the game.
But people buy it every year. Like every
That's
year
why I'm
they'll
taking.
still buy it.
I used to be down to every 2 years. I'm taking a stance. I'm not buying it this year. Screw you guys. I didn't enjoy last year's game. I didn't enjoy 14 last year. And I love hockey. There's a Canadian speaking here. I can't live without my hockey.
Oh,
but I
shit.
hated last year's game. I'm not buying this year's. So, EA, you're fucking up.
But if they're now messing up these games, do you think people, or just sports fans in general, would be happy if they moved to a 2-year cycle, where it's one every 2 years instead of every year?
As long as they put out an update the next year. So, like, an update on the rosters and that.
Yeah, that's the problem,
I think
though.
I would think which they can do. They do that periodically during the season. They'll put out updated rosters and jerseys and logos.
But
if you did that for every 2 years, I think that would be fine. You could even make people pay for it. You could even I still think so. If you just put out the game and the next year you put out like you want to pay $19.99 for full update on rosters, new jerseys, and all this extra stuff, I think they would get the $20 out of every single person that bought that game.
I mean, that would work out for the first year, like the game comes out, and then next year DLC that they pay for half the price, everything's updated. But then the next year when that second game actually releases as a full retail game, people are just going to be like, well, why didn't they do it as DLC again? I don't think
Well, it would have to be
work.
radically different. You would have to be radically different. Like, if you kept the DLC to just small changes, like I said, up rosters, logos, little details in the crowd, or stuff like that. But if you actually wanted to change the way the game works, game mechanics, rules of the game, anything big like that, then yeah, you would put out another game.
But it's like you said, you don't need to change it, really.
But well, like you do sometimes. Like this time, they've tried to like make the puck bounce more like a real puck.
Oh, wow.
That's their goal. Which my brother says it actually works. He says if it feels more natural coming off the boards and stuff. So, and I have to admit they've improved the way the puck has done a lot over the last few years. Before it used to be like a magnet. You would pass it to one guy and it would just go, it would hit the other guy and it would be like, yay, he just has the puck. Now it feels like when you pass the puck, it might bounce off his stick a little, or you have to settle it down and control it. So they have, I'll give them credit, they have improved puck mechanics over the years, but there's a lot of little details that go into things.
I just think the whole sports games are such a different animal that if you stopped releasing one every year, people would then be like, I'm not, like, people like to buy the new one every single year and continue to do it. So if you release every 2 years and make a better game each time, though, everything just breaks down and people just say, oh, you're trying to rip me off.
It's not one of the, not EA Sports, but the other, there's a big soccer game that does that.
Konami's Pro Evo?
Yeah, they don't put out one every year, right? Don't don't they come out like every couple of years or every 4 years or even? And then people like flock to this game. They're like, oh my god, yeah, I love it. Like,
I don't think they do flock. I mean, you couldn't even name the game or the company. I don't think FIFA is so much more successful.
I figured like in Europe this is a much bigger deal.
No, people just play FIFA. Pro Evo has its following and does decently well, but FIFA is like the biggest game of the year every year. And that's how it's been for this whole generation and for like the last... Since FIFA 10, definitely. FIFA 10 is when they really upped their game, overtook Pro Evo, and now it's nothing but FIFA for the last 5 years.
The last game I enjoyed was 98.
Oh, what? World Cup 98?
No, it was... that was the last year they actually did both in one game. And then they got smart and went, you know what? These guys will pay for 2 games, and then they separated it. They put out a World Cup game, and then your club team game. They used to just put out a game that was everything. Here's your world teams and your club teams.
Yeah, I remember speaking to someone who loves FIFA and buys it every year, and I was like, oh, are you going to get the World Cup one? He's like, no, I'm not stupid. But it's like, you buy the same game every year. Are you not like all in at this point? You're paying 40 quid every single year. What's another 40 or 30 quid for the World Cup one? But he wasn't stupid, you know. They weren't going to get his money easily.
The one thing I don't like about the World Cup one is that it's too much. Like, if I bought the World Cup one this time, it would be the Brazil World Cup all the time. And, like, I couldn't change Brazil. It would always be the Brazil World Cup. And do I want to play the Brazil World Cup for the next 4 years? I don't know. I just don't see me doing that.
Well, apparently they're a bit rushed, but that's to be expected, really. So, are we happy with sports games? They're terrible? We can draw a line onto this?
Yep.
Yep, they're terrible.
Right, so let's move on. I mean, we still got a couple of things with Smash Brothers to kind of get to. Not that much. But have you heard this whole thing about the game destroying circle pads?
I've seen pictures of this, and I'm not sure why that would be. I don't even understand why that would be. What makes this game different than any other game?
Well,
see this.
Yeah, it's a fighting game where it's just constant movement. I think you like move back and forth, left and right quite a lot.
You do, but I've never, ever, in previous iterations, never had that. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, I see why. Because the fucking circle pad it's not on there good, man. And then look at these dudes, man. Your fingernails fucking long as hell, and you're playing your game. Fuck off, you fat motherfucker. Can't even trim your fucking fingernails, and you're posting pictures. Oh, Nintendo destroyed my circle pad, and you got long ass witch fingernails.
So you think?
Well, there you go. Before you play Smash Brothers, everybody, cut your goddamn long-ass fingernails.
Your fucking fingernails.
That seems like an obvious one.
Well, like, okay, so...
I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 on my 3DS, and that's moving back and forth and jumping. What's the hell's the difference? I don't get it.
Some people are obsessed, crazy people who don't cut their fingernails and just buy it day one, play it constantly.
Some of these pictures look like these people put extreme force on this circle pad, and I can understand that when you're playing a game, but fuck me, man. Yeah. Oh, God.
So you know what the answer to all this is, though? What? The way to fix this is Amiibo.
Ah, Amiibo, yeah.
That's true.
Just
Amiibo.
I was thinking touch controls for Smash Brothers, but
that too.
Whatever.
So, Proto, you think that Nintendo should send these poor victims new 3DSs, right?
If you got your warranty, yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's capitalism, baby.
But what I've been seeing with these pictures is that they're all old 3DSs. They're all just from 2011. Obviously, these are fanatics, so they've been playing on their 3DS for 3 years, non-stop, with these, fingernails, and then eventually it breaks. So it's like not really surprising if you excessively use a system for that long, don't take care of it, and then it breaks. It's not
Plus, there's not a real thick bezel for the thumbstick, the little thing that separates the circle from the actual bottom. It's not very thick, so that creates a kind of weighted problem. You know, you're going to snap it a lot easier because it's not as thick. And then, you know, it's not like an Xbox 360 one or anything. Like, it's kind of soft and mushy too, so when your fingernail cuts into it, it leaves a mark instead of a much harder plastic one. So
yeah, I think it's still a problem with the circle pad where with the XL, right? Is that circle pad actually bigger at all?
I don't know.
So.
Because my thumb just doesn't. I like my thumb to actually go into an analog stick, but it doesn't fit. The circle pad is too small, so I kind of have to like half have it in there, and it's not really that comfortable.
So, you're saying you like to get your thumb right in there?
Oh yeah, you know, you just got to make sure it's all nice and cozy in there. Don't like to mess around. Give it a good wiggle. Have some fun.
I see where we're going here.
Jigglypuffs there.
Yep. Yup.
Yeah. Well, what about the new 3DS though? Like, surely that's got to have a better circle pad than these old ones.
It doesn't, and don't call me Shirley.
God, every time with this guy, I just can't.
I thought he was talking to me.
I was
both
happy. Shirley in my eyes.
Yes. While you're at it, get me a Shirley Temple.
What exactly is that, other than it's a non-alcoholic drink? But what is it? What exactly is a Shirley Temple? I've never had one.
It's pretty gross.
Is it just fruit punch? It always looks red.
Kind of. It's got like other stuff in it. Like you can serve it with a lime, and it's got like fruit in it sometimes, like a bunch of limes, or maybe like apple and cherry and stuff like that. And sometimes they are alcoholic. Like a lot of people make them with raspberry vodka and grenadine. I think that's how you say it.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of being a Shirley Temple?
It's just a name for a drink. It can be any kinds of shit. Some people make it with Sprite and shit.
But a Shirley
whatever.
Temple is because she was the child actress, and it was named because it has no alcohol because she's a kid.
Well, some people drink it with alcohol. Some people drink it with orange juice too.
Some kids get drunk.
Some kids
That's
get
true.
drunk.
It's not right, but they do love it.
Well, nowadays.
It's usually made with just Sprite, grenadine, and cherries, and that's like the traditional kind, with lime and stuff like that. But you can substitute all kinds of stuff like ginger ale, Canada Dry, whatever you like most,
But if
then you can rum it up.
If I order it in a bar, would I get my sexuality questioned? Is it one of those?
I think they would give you your drink with a funny eye.
Be like, oh, for your girlfriend, right? It's
like, hey, what's your number?
I don't even think they would think it's for your girlfriend. I don't even think it's like a girly drink. I think it would just question your ability as a full-bodied adult.
Yeah, like you might drink this at home, but not like, hey, I'm going to pay $8 for this.
Yeah, if you go out to a bar, you shouldn't be, unless you've brought your 3-year-old with you, you shouldn't be ordering a Shirley Temple.
You should not be taking a 3-year-old to a bar, Cows.
Well, I'm just saying that'd be the only reason to order a Shirley Temple in a bar.
That's right. Kids should be at least 6 before they start hitting bars. You've got to have principles.
We should lower the drinking age to 4.
To 4.
Gotta get them, hook them while they're young.
Yeah.
Well, it's that low in Scotland, right?
Probably. I mean, they probably don't even notice. There is
so
a
drunk.
They're too busy getting drunk and getting independent or whatever.
It's just like the statutory rape law and the underage law in Japan.
Which is what? 11?
It's like 16. And
that's not that bad. I think it's that low here in Canada.
It's that low here in England.
But in one part, it's like 11 in one part.
Well, then that's bad. I'm pretty sure it's 16 here in Canada.
Japan's not that big, though. Why is there specific regions with their own rape laws? Why can't they just agree?
I don't know.
It's like, in the north,
like, this is bad, but, you know, if this dude does it, and she was wearing clothes saying she wanted it, so, you know. And then over here, they're like, nah, man, that's not cool. And then they're like, well, you know what? Fuck you. You have your own laws.
So what is this, like, don't go to southern Japan? That's the bad part.
The bad part of Japan. How do we get on these topics?
I don't know.
Don't take the subway to the bad part of Japan.
No. Just check their rape laws.
Just check up on those rape laws before you go.
You just get a tourist map. It's like, okay, so if you're underage, you can get raped here, here, and here. So avoid these sections at all costs.
Yeah, and then, like, in between the good section and the bad section, it's like they got, like, a little line and the word rapey, kind of. Yeah. It's like, kind of, don't go in here, don't go past this line. It's kind of rapey over here.
A little rapey.
A little rapey. Oh, Kanisawa!
Not the accents again. We can't do more accents.
Oh!
God damn it.
We do not
She's such
condone.
a small schoolgirl. Oh!
I'd like to point out that Protomario's opinions are his own and not necessarily the views of the rest of the podcast.
Yes.
We were just trying to have some fun with rape, and Proto took it too far. I don't know what happened.
Why didn't I get a demo again?
I don't know, because of this.
Maybe
Miyamoto was like, I live in the rape zone, alright? And he's not getting a code.
Live in that rape zone, damn it. Fuck Proto.
Right, okay, let's move away from this. I'm glad I brought up destroying the circle pads now, because it led to this beautiful moment.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to, do we want the Xbox One or the Mojang thing? What do you guys reckon?
Okay, I say the Mojang thing.
Okay, do you want to explain this? Because I think you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, I've got about 5 minutes left, so I'll sum it up and give my opinion and then take off. Okay, so basically what ended up happening was Notch approached Microsoft and asked them to purchase it. And Microsoft and them have worked out a deal to where it would be about $2 billion. Now, if you don't know money, like, obviously you know that's a lot of money. But to keep it in perspective, Twitch was sold to Amazon for $970 million. So Minecraft is worth 2.5 times, like a little bit over 2, than Twitch streaming servers to Microsoft. And so what's going to happen, a lot of people are like, well, if I have the Sony version or the PC version or the Pocket version, I can't play it because it's exclusive to Microsoft. Now, that's not true. They can't recall your game and they can't prevent you from playing your game, but they can prevent the updates. They can prevent the DLC from coming to those versions. And what will more than likely happen is that those versions will have to pay the royalties to Microsoft instead of, you know, Mojang's creator because he sold it. And so they're going to push for a Minecraft 2 is more than likely what's going to happen. And they're going to say, hey, Xbox One users, you need to get yourself frickin' an Xbox One because Minecraft 2. And by the way, fuck you PC and fuck you everyone else. So buy an Xbox One.
Yep.
I mean, that's
They did this before, like 2 months ago with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Microsoft are known for just like, we'll leave this big bag of money here, and you know, if you guys want to just release it on our system, we'll be cool with that. And then they say that we didn't buy it, it's fine, and then it's like they totally brought it, it's not fine. And now they're making their move for Minecraft because it's like one of the most successful games of all time, and it still sells to this day.
But I need to emphasize this. Notch did go to them. So the odds are, with the recent news stories that were coming out about how he was changing around server rules and restrictions, the odds are that, you know, he just got tired of it and didn't want to deal with that shit anymore.
Maybe it was just a case of, like, I'm done with Minecraft, I want to cash out, who, you know,
Notch,
you would
Notch
go to
doesn't
Microsoft.
like Microsoft. He doesn't like Microsoft at all. He's voiced his opinions against Microsoft a lot.
Yeah, but he's voiced his opinion against everyone, hasn't he, at some point?
Yeah. But I can't hate on Notch because, you know, everyone will hate me.
Well, they already hate you because of the...
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Oh, corner wall!
Oh, dear.
Wait. It's a Switzerland-based company, so... Eugens Vortigen, Siegen, I would like to explain to you, Switzerland Christmas.
Perfect.
And,
That's horrible. That's the worst Swiss accent I've ever heard.
would you like to put your money in my bank?
That's how he sounds.
Okay.
Just on Twitter, he has a lot of R's in between everything.
Yep.
But,
Okay. Okay, I've got to take off though, so
what?
I'm going to be streaming.
Oh.
I'm going to be drawing Pokemon today, guys.
Oh, what, that new game that came out?
No, not that. There's a free program on the internet that makes it look like Mike Tyson with autism drew Pokemon. Because, like, you have to use your mouse, and it's very, very difficult to do. And
so, are you going to be drawing Pokemon pictures and placing them on Rule 34?
I was thinking about it.
So what are we still doing here with the podcast? We'll just move it over there. Keep it going.
Might as well join the fun.
Yeah. Alright, Pro, well, you ended on a high note, that's for sure, with the Swedish or Swish.
Me offending basically every race on the planet eventually.
Yeah, you'll get there. We're getting
As
close.
long as you even it out, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what I do, the Germans are always like the worst race ever.
Sure.
With the whole Nazi thing.
Way to take a stand on that one.
The whole Nazi situation really killed it for us, guys. I'm sorry, Germany. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure there are no Nazis left.
Well, there's
Neo-Nazis.
some, maybe. I'm sure there's a forum where the last of them are.
Where people are like, hey, you know what happened like 80 years ago, 40 or 60? I don't know. I'm a hipster kid. I think Hitler's just great. By the way, do you like Hitler? Cool. We can be pals and do this Nazi thing. And that's what they do.
Sounds about right.
www.nazi.com.
Don't give them a plug. That's not...
That probably exists.
Never plug the Nazis. That's just a rule.
I'm gonna type that in now, and it's gonna link me to like some hardcore German porn, and I'm like, wow.
It's probably gonna give you some Nazi virus.
Yeah. Gives me a virus of Wolfenstein, and to get the virus off my computer.
I think my brother got the Nazi virus once, where like some swastika was stuck on his screen and it wouldn't go away.
Yeah, that's the excuse I used as well. I was like, oh, it's a virus. I don't know how it got there. Oh, it's broken. Damn.
Alright, guys. I'll see you later.
Alright, see you, Pro.
Later.
And there he goes to Nazi.com, I guess.
How do we end up talking about this stuff?
It just happened. No.
Nazi.com doesn't have anything to do with this podcast.
What are you talking about? Nintendo are a bunch of Nazis. That's what we're saying.
Oh, well, now I see the connection.
There we go.
We were talking about Nintendo. Okay, now it makes sense.
Actually, we're talking about Microsoft buying Mojang. So, like, to get back on topic, if you will allow it, like, apparently it's going to get announced tomorrow, and I don't think at this point Minecraft is worth $2 billion. Like, it still sells, but it's not worth that much.
It sounds like they're buying the thing that used to be cool. And they're trying to, like, make it... I don't know. It just... It's like... This almost feels like them buying Rare. It's like, this thing that's kind of cool, and now we're gonna buy it, and we're gonna completely make sure it's not cool at all.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty close. Because they brought Rare at just the wrong time. Like, when the turn happened. And now it seems like... this deal would make sense if the PS4 version of Minecraft wasn't already out. If they brought it like a year before, made sure that the only next-gen version was on Xbox One, that would make sense. But you can already get it on PS4. So who are they blocking by making this deal? Like the Wii U version, I guess, is cancelled now? Like, damn.
I don't think they had any plans. Is there any way by them buying it they can take back their deal with PlayStation?
Well, it's out. It's already been released.
I know, but like, no new people will get to buy it.
No, no. I don't think you can retroactively do something like that without involving Sony as part of the deal. Like, I reckon they would have to pay Sony money to take it down.
Because, like, I know Nintendo has put out games for their console, and then, like, they'll take them down and be like, anybody who's bought it can keep it, or re-download it if necessary, but no new people are allowed to get it now.
Yeah, I don't get that. They did that right at the end of Wii's life cycle, where Donkey Kong Country, all three of those games just went down, and are just not there anymore.
There's a bunch of other ones too that quietly disappeared. So I just figured you could do the same thing here in this case.
Maybe it's like, well, you would hope this is the answer. Maybe they just find some weird glitch, and instead of fixing it, they're just like, screw it, we'll take it down. But I think that's me being a bit naive.
So they could sabotage the PS4 version, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Although apparently I think there's been reports of, like, it's not great anyway at the moment.
Well, I'm not a Minecraft player, but it feels like one of those games that really isn't meant to be played on a console.
Well, here's the thing. Me and Joe were talking about it last week, where it's a case of in Minecraft, it's like, well, the analogy I use is that it's like Lego, where even if you don't have the big set with all the different pieces, you can still buy a smaller set and then still have fun messing around with those. So, like, the console version is like a smaller Lego set.
It's like a small set, yeah.
Yeah, so you can still have fun with it, even though you are missing out on a lot of features and content.
That's a good analogy. I like that analogy, yeah.
Yeah, connecting Minecraft to Lego, it's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy
Nobody
connection.
would have ever thought of that.
No, I'm the first in all the years. But it's just, I don't know, Minecraft...
I wonder if they've ever had any discussions.
Maybe.
Like, Lego puts out all these games, so why wouldn't they work together with Minecraft and, like, make some Minecraft/Lego spin-off?
Maybe they're just too similar. Maybe that's it. Maybe it'll just be...
Maybe.
They're just too alike, that if you put them together, it wouldn't really add anything. It would just be a creeper with a Lego face on it, and you're like, well, that's just even more creepy.
But maybe that's for the game, but you could do it the other way around. Why can't you put out, like, Minecraft and Lego work together to put out actual Lego pieces of Minecraft?
That might have already happened, you know? Like,
oh, really?
I don't know. But that sounds like something that might have already happened.
That just sounds like something that should happen.
Yeah, like Lego just keep churning out all the different franchises. I think, wasn't there a Nintendo one recently, or am I making that up? I don't know.
I know I saw a petition for that somebody wanted a Hyrule Castle with Zelda, but I don't know if that ever happened. Because if it did, I'd buy it. But I remember a petition going around requesting Lego to do it. Now, if they ever came to a deal with Nintendo, I don't know.
Well, Nintendo have been really open with their franchises lately anyway. Like, they said, hey, we're going to branch out more and work with third-party people or companies more. And they totally did. And that's why next week we get Hyrule Warriors, because they totally started reaching out and expanding all their franchises. I mean, so what, like... You're a Zelda guy, so what's your thoughts on Hyrule Warriors at the moment?
Well, my first thought is, where does it fit into the time?
Well, that's the important part.
No, but seriously, I don't know what I think. I'm really on the fence about this game, because, like, I think it's going to do what they want it to do, because in the end, somebody like me is probably going to buy this game when I would never buy Dynasty Warriors. I would never probably play Dynasty Warriors, but because they put all these Zelda characters on the face, I'm more willing to give it a try.
Well, I think also they actually had the guy behind Zelda work with them. Like, if they just left them to their own devices, I would still be like, it's a random company just making a Zelda game. But no, they actually did help.
Yeah, there's enough in there that I think I might have some interest. But I don't know. I think long is it gonna be like this huge game I'm gonna love forever, and like I'm gonna look back 20 years from now and go, that was a fucking awesome Zelda game? Probably not.
But what was the last Zelda game where you did that though?
I can look back and go, Twilight Princess was really good.
Yeah.
I give them credit for that one. I can look back and I can even say Minish Cap was good on you know, I can look at that one fondly, or
and that was made by Capcom as well.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, you know, so there's a couple within the last 10 years. The other ones I can't say we've had enough time yet, but I'm probably going to say most people aren't going to look back and go, oh, Phantom Hourglass was an awesome.
No.
Even though I don't personally see anything wrong with it, but that's just me thinking it was better than Wind Waker. But I don't have any problem with the trains either. So, but that's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, but I mean, I guess
this could be a fun game that you could play for the next year or so while you're waiting for the actual Zelda game to come out.
Well, that's what a spin-off is, though. So if it manages to do that, if it's a bit of fun, because it's just non-canon craziness. All the characters are in there. Screw it.
That is the key right there.
Yeah.
I love that word right there. Non-canon.
Non-canon, but not non-ganon. Am I right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Funny guy right there.
Hero Week.
Are we getting Ganondorf or are we getting Pigman Ganon in this game?
We're getting Ganondorf, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of crazy special move where he just transforms like...
I would hope so. I prefer Pig Ganon. Pig Ganon's my kind of Ganon.
Well, I'm gonna buy it, and it's... Yeah, like, here's the thing. If they actually try to make a serious Zelda game with a story, then it would just be like, oh, this is just something that...
Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy that. I don't want this to be serious. Do not make this serious in any way. I just want to have a bunch of beat-em-up fun, and that's it. I do not want them to try to put a story behind this. I don't want the internet to try to put a story behind this. Do not try to serious this game at all. Don't put any little... I don't even want Easter... Don't even tease me with Easter eggs to try to make it serious. Just do nothing. Don't try to connect this to your book at all.
So
okay?
have you seen any of the stuff they're doing though with the special attacks and all the things that are being thrown in there? Because if you haven't, I don't want to spoil it, but there's some cool stuff going on.
I haven't heard much.
That's for sure.
The last I heard was something about Sheik using the harp to like destroy all the enemies or something like that. So
okay, well
I know little bits, but I don't know that much.
Okay, well we won't go into them then, just because it's coming out so close. Like, over here in Europe it's next Friday, so I don't know when it's coming out for you guys.
Is it really? Is it that close?
Yeah, it's next week.
I thought it was October, but maybe that's us.
No, it's got to be around the same time, but I know definitely it's next week, because I've got it pre-ordered, so I'll be, playing it day one when it comes out.
2 weeks for us. It's almost October.
Oh.
26th.
Oh, that sucks for you guys.
Yeah.
Good. But it's already been out in Japan for a few weeks, and the odd thing is...
Worse it.
Yeah, screw them. With their Smash Brothers and their Hyrule Warriors, but... Although we don't get Captain Toad until next year, so that's score one for you guys.
Wow, Captain Toad, oh yay.
That'll save the Wii U.
Wii U sales have quadrupled since the release of Captain Toad.
Everyone loves Toad.
Why can't that happen, though? Why can't that happen? Like, why can't the world just decide we're going to embrace this stupid fucking game that you made. You put it in a stupid side-scrolling Mario game. It's a little 5-minute mini game, and now we're going to turn it into a full-fledged game. And the whole world just embraces this game and changes everything.
We'll just start a petition. Please buy Captain Toad. It'll change your life.
You know, within 5 years, Toad could be the new face of Nintendo. It won't be Mario Brothers anymore. It'll be the Toad Gang.
Captain Toad and the gang.
Yeah, it'll just be so amazing.
And then we'll hear deals of...
Just like you're the name Captain Toad. I wanted a space shooter. That's what I wanted when I heard that. And it just makes me sick inside that that's the game we're getting instead.
But we're getting Star Fox,
in his
though.
mushroom ship, he's out in outer space, maybe have little bits of connections to Mario Galaxy, because that's where he started from, and I just thought we were getting a space shooter.
But we got...
different.
Star Fox, though.
They've obviously have no faith in that anymore.
Well, they announced it. I mean, next year we should see a new Star Fox game.
In development, it's not going to come out next year.
It should do. I mean, I hope.
I'm surprised, but I'll be happily surprised if that happens. But I bet you we get the E3 next year, and they'll be like, coming in 2016, Star Fox.
Well, here's the thing. They always have, like, 2 big games every holiday season. This year we're getting Smash Bros. On the Wii U. And I guess you would have to say Hyrule Warriors, if we're talking about just the Wii U. And then last year was Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World, and, you know. So next year, we got the new Zelda. It's going to be the big one. And I reckon Star Fox has got to be the second one.
Then I'm going to have a happy Christmas 2015.
Oh, yeah, it should be great. That's for sure. And then we should get Xenoblade Chronicles X during the summer.
What are the 2 big games this year, then? Smash Brothers and...
I would say Hyrule Warriors if we're talking about the Wii U.
I thought you were including Captain Toad in that.
Oh, no. I would put Bayonetta 2 above Captain Toad. I mean, that's an easy decision.
I want to see sales. I want to see sales numbers. What do you think? Let's give it 6 months. What sells more, Captain Toad or Bayonetta?
I'm going to say Captain Toad.
You really think so?
I think so. I think the people who brought a Wii U are hardcore Nintendo fans who are more interested in a Mario spin-off than a sequel to Bayonetta. The Wonderful 101 didn't really sell that well, and Bayonetta 1 didn't sell that well, but Super Mario 3D World did, so Captain Toad won't make Super Mario 3D World numbers, but I think it's going to sell more. And I'm sorry if that makes you sad.
Game do you think then would have a better chance of seeing a sequel on the Wii U, not another system? That's probably more of, I would say, big chances. But on this system later in its lifespan, a second Hyrule Warriors,
right,
or a second Captain Toad.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Hyrule Warriors came out in Japan and has, like, tanked. It's only sold 100,000 copies so far.
Really? It's tanked?
Yeah.
What do you think they've turned on it?
I don't know.
Huh.
But they've only sold 100,000 copies so far, and that's a Zelda game in Japan. So, it's not done horribly, but it hasn't done that well, so I want to say Captain Toad just because it hasn't been released yet. But
wow.
You would
I
hope.
did not know it was failing in Japan.
Yeah.
See, just the curiosity. Maybe they've all decided it's not a proper Zelda game, so screw you, Nintendo. We're not going to buy it. Which is kind of my mindset. I want to say fuck you, Nintendo, because I know what you're doing. I'm smart enough to know that you're just trying to waste time and keep me here. It's like the shiny little, here's the keys. They're flashing the keys at me. Here, look at the shiny keys. Huh? Don't look at the real Zelda game. Look at this. Yeah, look at the shiny keys. That's what they're doing. But I'm willing to give it a try. I'm willing to play with the shiny keys for a little while.
They are pretty shiny. You can't argue with that. But I mean, Zelda is an annual franchise now.
It is.
Well, think about it. We got Hyrule Warriors this year. Last year we had A Link Between Worlds and Wind Waker HD. Next year we're getting the new one on the Wii U. So I would say so. And the year before, Ocarina of Time 3D, I think, came out.
This is true.
So I think it's been an annual franchise now.
Wow. When you put it that way, I didn't really think about it. Especially, but they package it so differently.
Yeah.
It's like a couple remakes and an off-spin. There's only one... Actually, there's no real games in there, is there? Out of all those games you mentioned, there's none.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time remake, Wind Waker HD remake.
Well, the Link to the Past sequel was new.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is the last new one we've got since Skyward Sword, I think.
And they didn't really have to develop a new map.
No, just make it look nicer.
Time.
But no, because even Wind Waker HD though on the Wii U didn't do that well. It sold 1 million copies, which is pretty good, but it didn't really boost Wii U sales that much, and it did good, but not that great in terms of Zelda games go. Yeah, so I just don't think, unless it's a main series, full, proper, blown Zelda game, like...
That's the only thing that's going to sell then?
Yeah, because Skyward Sword sort of stupid amount, even though most people didn't like it.
Same, yeah.
And then A Link Between Worlds, I think, did pretty well, but a lot of that would just be because it's on the 3DS.
Well,
so
then, if that is absolutely true, then that only defends my theory that they should not be launching a system without a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should, or within the year anyway, have a brand new one.
Yes. I don't mean, when I say launch, I don't mean day one. I mean, the first 365 days.
Sure. So would you say the GameCube satisfied that? Because it was a year afterwards that it came out.
Came close. Yeah. But GameCube starting out, like right now, if you launched a system with a Luigi's Mansion game, that would be okay. But back then, that when nobody knew it, launching with that game was not the best idea.
Well, at the time it was weird because that was the launch game, and then you also had like Wave Race. But the reason why people actually bought GameCubes was Smash Brothers, and I don't think Nintendo anticipated that at all. Like, they didn't think that people would latch onto Smash Bros. Like they did, so they were like, get Luigi's Mansion, it's the new Mario game. But then everyone was like, I just want to play Smash Bros. And that was all it was. But it's like, with the Wii U, it's kind of hard to talk that much about the launch anymore. Because it feels like we're still in that first year of the launch.
It does. It feels like we are, but we're not.
It's been like 2 years now since it came out.
But it feels like they're just getting going still. Because, I don't know, they're spinning their wheels, it feels like, so much.
Well, they're putting out games, but there's not that killer one. It's like 3D World was really fun and good, but it's no Galaxy.
No,
and then, Wind Waker HD was cool, but it was a remake. And then New Super Mario Bros. U, again, it's just a new Super Mario Bros game. So we haven't had that, the Super Mario 64 to the N64. We still haven't had that for the Wii U. And the closest we've come, I guess, is Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, that's definitely moved some numbers there.
So that's why I think 3D World was such a mistake on Nintendo's part, because you would think that would be the flagship title, but it's really not.
Yeah, their flagship title really is Mario Kart now.
Yeah, that's the one that sold over 2 million copies and everyone loves and everyone's praised. And
so maybe that should be their launch title for their next system.
Yeah. I mean, Mario Kart saved or really helped out the 3DS.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't feel like Mario Kart 7 was that big for the 3DS, well, it was, but I don't think it's as important to the 3DS as Mario Kart 8 is to the Wii U.
Well, it's only because it's more crucial. Like, the 3DS also had the price drop in 3D Land, but the Wii U technically had the same stuff, but it didn't work in the same way. But
there's still some good games on the 3DS without Mario Kart 7, but it's always good to have.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it is really weird how the 3DS, they got it off the ground with the price cut, and then they released Mario Kart Super Mario 3D Land. Got it off the ground, is now really successful. Wii U, they tried the exact same thing. They tried price cut, Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart, and it hasn't worked in the same way. And it's because 3D World had no kind of personality, and HD console gaming is so different to handheld gaming. It's such a different beast that you can't expect it to work in the same way.
It is, and that's why I was a little disappointed in 3D World, is because that kind of a game feels like a handheld game to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like if that was on my 3DS, I'd be happy with it. But as a console game, it's good. I'm not saying it's not a good game. It doesn't feel as big as the Galaxy games did.
Oh no.
Galaxy games feel like a big, wow, this is a console game. This is fucking amazing. But, I don't know, it just feels like, yeah, you put out the same quality of game on my 3DS.
I mean, to me, 3D World made 3D Land, good. But 3D Land was impressive because it was the first 3D title on a handheld that they had put out. But then 3D World doesn't have that same reason why it's worth owning. It's just, it looks nice and you can have fun with co-op, but there's no nothing if you saw a trailer for it, you wouldn't stop and think, I need that game.
Take the new Link Between Worlds game. When A Link to the Past came out, that was a big Super Nintendo console release game. Now, if you tried to treat this sequel as the same thing, people wouldn't accept that.
No.
This could not be a Wii U release game. It's a great game. I loved it so much. It's probably the best Zelda game since Link to the Past. I loved it. But if it's a console game, it just doesn't have that big feel, you know? It's hard to explain, but you know it when you have it. It just doesn't have that big feel. It feels like something that I should be playing on my 3DS. And that's why they put it out there. That's where it belongs.
Yeah. I mean, and then even that trailer that we got for the new Zelda Wii U, not the actual trailer, the reveal during the E3 presentation when he just snaps his fingers and then suddenly it's there. That had that feel. You could feel that coming. It's it's a big open world. It looked great. You're I want to explore that. That's HD gaming. This is where Zelda should be going in terms of consoles. That has that feel. And then, yeah, like you already said, Mario Galaxy had that feel, even with the trailers and when it was first released. And then you kind of come out with 3D World.
And I think they put too much focus on this multiplayer. I don't think they should have done that. How many people, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think kids gathered together in the same room and play a game like that anymore. And if they do, it's rare.
I think people still do, but it's not a feature that it's not a new thing. They've already got tons of games they can play co-op.
No, but it's definitely not important like it was back in Nintendo and Super Nintendo days where you called your friends over and you played games, right?
Yeah.
Now you might call your friend up and be you want to play a game? And they're sure. And you both go online. And that's even if you're just down the street, right? You don't go to each other's houses, probably. I just don't see that happening.
No. Well, I think where they went wrong is that they saw, I want to say they looked at the sales figures. You can probably claim they didn't, but they must have done. They saw that New Super Mario Bros. Wii sold more than Galaxy 1 and 2 combined. And then they saw that the 3D Land was or probably still is the best selling game on the 3DS. And then they took the two, thinking that they were going to make tons of money and that everyone was going to be really excited about a 3D Land, but with the co-op of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And then it turns out, no, nobody...
Well, that's a problem with just looking at the numbers then. Because, That's like a Hollywood blockbuster that everybody runs out to see. The fucking movie sucks, but yet it made like $100 million, so we'll make a sequel.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it made $100 million, give them a sequel, but everybody says the movie sucked. So, it's just, you know, you can't look at it like that. You gotta listen to the actual people that, you know, great, a lot of people bought it, but how about you actually listen to the people that bought it and be like, well, this game's great, but that but is what you need to be hearing.
Yeah, well, let's hope they do that, because they already said we're making a new 3D Mario game for the Wii U. So we are going to see another 3D Mario game for the system.
Well, I hope you get the drastic change like they're promising then for Zelda. They're promising everything a Zelda fan wants to hear. This big open world, this big game, do anything you want, go there, whatever. So maybe they'll listen. If they're going to do that for Zelda, maybe they'll do the same thing. Well, I'm not asking for an open world game in Mario,
no.
But I think people just want that big... I think they want Galaxy, but not Galaxy.
So do you think people would be happy with Super Mario Galaxy 3 just because of the extra horsepower?
I don't want... See, that's the thing I don't want. I don't want a sequel to Galaxy. I want a game that feels like Galaxy, but isn't Galaxy.
Sure.
You know? I want another really big game like that. I just don't want it to be called Galaxy again. I don't want Mario stuck in this Galaxy land, or whoever they've shoved themselves to, you know?
Yeah.
But there's gotta be something else Mario can do in a huge, open environment somehow.
Well, that's why I always kind of talk about not Sunshine 2, but taking a theme and then sticking it to a game. Now, obviously, some people would say they were a bit too strict with that theme, and that's fair enough. Maybe they'd be a bit more liberal with it. But there's, you know, all the different RPGs painted these, like, really imaginative worlds that Mario can exist in. So if they can do that, maybe that's what they should do. Just have it on a planet, on Mario's planet, or the Mushroom Kingdom, and actually have these interesting worlds, rather than generic lands where there's just some question blocks and some Goombas. Maybe actually create a world where these, or like the RPG games, there's actually characters there.
Well, one idea that I had is, if they really want to go, they seem to be like wanting to go to these throwback things with the Tanuki suit and the tail and all that kind of stuff, and they brought back flagpoles and all stuff like that. If they want that kind of style, what I was thinking is, how about you take the theme then of Mario Brothers 3, because everybody seems to like it, or you can even do it with World, and instead of the levels side-scrolling, why don't you take... You don't have to copy the level. I don't want the levels copied. That's not what I want. But I want the theme of those worlds, but in a 3D kind of thing. So, you would have your grassland as World 1, but Mario explores the entire world in a 3D world. And then you move on to the desert land, and then the ice land. But, like, have it like that, you know?
So maybe be like... Have it like Sunshine, but you actually move on to a new area.
Yes. That's kind of what I'm looking for, yes. I'm looking for Sunshine, except for like that. Yeah, except for you move on to a new area. Instead of going to painting some portals, it actually feels like he's traveling through the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, because I think a game they could take influence from is Jak and Daxter, the first one. Because they put a lot of effort making it seamless, so you could technically walk from one point of the world to the next one without any loading screens. So I think...
See, that's what I'm looking for then. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly the kind of Mario game I'd like to have.
Yeah, and it would give the Mario universe a bit more personality, because that's what 3D World and Land was kind of lacking. It was just Mario, which we've seen for years. But Galaxy, you know, even though it's set in space, had a personality about it. So I think we've solved that. We've solved Mario. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we've solved Mario, and if they get it wrong, it's because they didn't listen to the podcast.
No, and that's their loss.
It is their loss.
Although they probably stopped after the Proto impression. They probably just thought, you know what, we're not listening to these guys.
Well, And if they didn't stop there, they obviously did when Proto directed them to Nazi.com.
Sure, they already went to the website, checked it out. They're still there at this point. I'm pretty sure people are just coming back from the website back to the podcast. Like, oh, it's still going. Cool.
Oh, and they're still talking about Nazi.com. Why don't we go back?
Fantastic. That's a great website. Right, okay, so next news story, and probably the last one, is that I mentioned it before we started, and you were surprised that the Xbox One came out in Japan.
I'm shocked. It's been what? It's been 2 years since it came out now?
No, just a year.
Really? It feels longer.
Yeah.
See, that's the total opposite of Wii U. It's the total opposite. To me, Xbox One feels like it's been out forever, and Wii U feels like it's just starting.
Well, it kind of helps that the Xbox One has a separate name. Like, we have to keep saying Wii, like, every single time we're talking about Nintendo's new console.
Yeah, but you have to say Xbox, Xbox 360, and then Xbox One.
Well, people just called it the 360, though, so, you know, the Xbone, Xbox One, it still separates itself a little bit.
But I think that's the kind of feel Nintendo might be going for here. They're going to go with this Wii name from now on. And, like, now it's Wii U, and then it's... I don't know.
But that's why I think they were looking at the numbers, because the Wii was, like, their most successful console in a long time. So they thought, Wii U will keep the name going. So that's why I think they've had this mentality. To go back to Nintendo, that the Wii U, the fact that they called it that, really represents what Nintendo were trying to do. And that is, certain parts were successful, so we'll just keep going with that.
Wii 3.
Oh.
That's going to be the next one. Wii 3.
No.
Wii 3.
No, it's the Wii 1. That's how you gotta name your consoles. Then it could be like Irish as well, like Wii 1. That's fun.
Wii 1. Oh, boy.
But yeah, so the Xbox One. Do you want to guess the sales figures of the first week? Brand new console launching in Japan.
Well, I know Japan's never been happy with Microsoft.
What? That's crazy.
It's crazy. They've tried all sorts of tactics to try to get them to buy the Xbox 360, and it didn't work. I'm going to say this is disastrous. Okay, this might be insane. I'm going to say 1,000 consoles.
Well, yeah, that is a bit too low.
Okay. Let me give a more realistic number then. I'm going to say 25,000.
Yeah. It's 25,674 copies or consoles sold.
Wow.
You nailed it.
Wow. That's sad.
That's nothing. That's like, if you look at the games chart in Japan, the amount of titles that sold so much more than that. And it's just one particular game. And the Xbox One only manages 25,000.
Wow. So yeah, you just said that Hyrule Warriors did 100,000 copies. And that's a game.
That's in a month, yeah.
And that's a game, and that's in a month, and that is disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Xbox, which is a console, only does 25,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
that
really
puts
bad.
it in perspective.
Yeah, that's why it's worth bringing up. Usually it'd be like, whatever, the Xbox One came out, but it's really, nobody cared. Like, nobody cared. The Wii U and the PS4...
Well, did they do any weird gimmicks over there for this thing? Because I know for 360 they did all sorts of things, like trying to entice Square Enix to make games just for their console, all sorts of weird pricing points, things like that would like mark towards the Japanese consumer. Did they do anything at all?
They did nothing this time. They were just like, screw it didn't work, we'll just put the console out there and hope that it does well on its own merits. And nobody cared. Because, think about it, like, if you were a Japanese gamer, who the hell would wait? Like, oh, the PS4 and Wii U are out, but you know what? I really want to connect. I'll wait a year for the Xbox One to come out and then buy it. Like, I think if the Xbox One came out at the same time as the PS4, it would have stood a fighting chance. It still would have lost, but people would still buy it.
The only thing it's going to stand on then are its exclusives, and I guess they don't want them?
Well, the top-selling game, I think, came 13th, the lucky number 13th in the Japanese chart for that week, and that was Titanfall, with 8,961 copies sold.
Well, considering how many consoles there are, 8,000 out of 25 is a pretty good average.
Yeah, the ratio's not bad.
Yeah, the ratio's pretty good.
That's Microsoft are going to come and say, we have a good ratio in Japan. We are moving forward.
That's like what? That's almost a third.
That's coming up to a third, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost a third. That's pretty good.
So as an game
like if Nintendo could boast they sold a third of their systems have a single game, then I think they'd be very happy.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart is the only one that's close, and I think that's sold over 2 million, and then the Wii U has sold over a bit over 7 million. So that's still only
Really, only 7 million? I thought we were up to 10 by now.
No, PS4's on 10. Maybe 11 at this point, but the Wii U's still on 7 or something.
That's sad.
Well, if you think about it, though, the Wii U, like, people would just say it's not a success or anything like that. And yeah, it's been pretty unsuccessful, but it's selling more than the Xbox One, and it's actually not that far behind in terms of overall sales to the PS4. Like, the PS4 is definitely winning and is doing a lot better, but the Wii U isn't, it's not a PS2 to Dreamcast situation here. The numbers are...
you can't really be comparing Nintendo with Microsoft and PlayStation anymore. You should be giving that up. The last console that even came close to competing, I'm not even going to count the Wii against it, was maybe the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could have compared that with their systems. But I don't think you can be like, yeah, they're not in the same category. Nintendo is a different animal now.
But it's still kind of impressive, though, that what people say about the Wii U and the Xbox One hasn't been able to close the gap. And I don't know if it ever will unless they, can really pull something out of the bag here. Like, if Xbox One is not selling in Japan at all, I don't know if they can ever overtake the Wii U.
Yeah. Can they just... Is that really the end? Like, is Microsoft really going to be like, well, if we can't make it in Japan, we might as well just give up?
No, but I'm just saying, like, the Wii U...
Yeah, I don't see them saying that. It's just... I think, like you said, they're not trying at all. They waited an extra year. They didn't come up with any gimmicks. This sounds like they've waved the white flag in Japan and just said, it's going to be what it's going to be, and we don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, they did it to themselves when they didn't launch it a year ago. Like, I wouldn't wait a year for a console.
Well, the year doesn't help, but they did it to themselves with all the fucking stupid shit they announced even before the console came out.
Yeah, that's it. I reckon that's why this number is so low, of what you just mentioned, that everyone was already in a bad... Like, everyone kind of didn't like Microsoft and hated the Xbox One. And
put everybody in a bad mood to begin with.
Yeah, and Japan had to just sit with that for another year.
So, yeah, they had to sit in that filth, that shit that they left.
Yeah, they just...
Here they took a big crap on the floor, but a janitor came by with a mop and he cleaned it up and he sprayed some air freshener and they made it all nice.
Well, there's always going to be a mark, but it doesn't smell anymore.
No, exactly. They still left a mark on the ground, yeah, but over there they just left a pile of flaming crap over there and the flies started gathering and I think ants started making a hole out of it and it got really ugly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't even bother to sort out the Kinect for the Japanese market. If it's like, yeah, there's no Japan setting, we couldn't be asked. Just buy it, please. I'm running a business here.
On the plus side, though, for North American or European people that have bought the Xbox, they must be extremely happy with their online gaming. Because this means there's very few or no expert Japanese players online kicking their ass in every possible game.
Yeah, but you know that these 8,000 people that brought Titanfall are, like, amazing. Because they actually waited for it.
They waited for it, and probably all 8,000 of them are instantly better than anybody else ever played already.
And when they play locally, it's only against themselves as well, so they all just get better together. And then it's like, well, let's go and fight some Americans, and it's just like an infection, and they just kick everyone's ass.
Oh man, it must be so much fun to be a Japanese gamer and just go online and kick some poor soy American ass and just be like, ha ha ha, we are so much better.
No, don't you do an impression. God damn.
But wasn't that sort of like that Nintendo commercial for
we would like to play that one.
I think it was for Mario Kart 7, wasn't it? It was like the guy, he's sitting at home, this regular average North American guy sitting there playing Mario Kart 7, and then he keeps losing, and then it cuts away to who he's playing against online, and it's two Japanese girls, and they're just like, ha ha ha, he loses again! I'm just that's probably so true. That's probably so true.
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't want to stick to stereotypes, but I've been in lobbies in Mario Kart 7 where everyone, like, there's me, a French guy, a couple of Americans, and then there's just first place Japanese guy every single time.
I've been in a room that's, like, just been worldwide. There's been no Japanese players, and it's been a good battle fight. And then, like, a couple people will drop out, and, like, 5 or 6 Japanese players will come in. They'll all have like a rating 5 times the size of yours, and then the race is for 6th instead because they're all winning. Like, I just don't get, like, how are they consistently that much better? It boggles my mind. Do I have to go live in Japan to improve my skills?
Yeah, that's what I don't get that in general when I play Mario Kart. How can one guy be consistently that much better? Like, why don't they have a bad race where they just get blue shelled, and then they get hit by lightning, and a red shell, and they end up in last, and it's like...
That's the other thing. That's what's really infuriating, is because I know they do get lightning. I know they do get blue shelled, but they still recover somehow. They find a way to do it, and I just don't know how. I really don't. And I think, like you said, the theory is, they're all playing each other, so they get even better, but I don't think so, because I've been playing, when I bought Dr. Mario for my Wii, and now my Wii U, I've been playing against Japanese players online for at least 5 years now, and while I will admit, I have gotten way better at Dr. Mario, I am still not at a level where I can beat any Japanese player. If a Japanese name comes up, I cannot beat them on a consistent level. The odd time I can win a match. The odd time. But more than likely, even if their rating is worse than mine, I know I'm going to lose this match. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's mental. Maybe it's all in my head. I'm just like, oh shit, I don't stand a chance, and my confidence drops or something. But
maybe it's just the way Western people play.
If there are any Japanese people out there listening right now to this podcast, please share your secret with us. We promise we won't tell anybody.
No, just us.
We just want to be good gamers. Please teach us the way.
Maybe it's just a different mentality when, like, a Japanese person approaches anything competitive. Like, over in the West, if I'm playing a competitive game, it's like I've got pizza next to me. I'm just like, and then it's just like dark in my room. You know, just like my laptop's up, listening to music.
I would believe that, but see, I have my friend Marksky, and he is if you're saying they just don't like to lose and they're very competitive, then that can't be true, because my friend Marksky, the worst thing, he's the worst loser in the world. He hates to lose. He hates it so much. You should see it. When he was here, I had him part of the Mario Kart 7, my LP, right? Mm-hmm. I wish I should have thought of it. While he was part of my LP, I should have had a separate camcorder going on top of my TV, just focused in on this guy's face. You should have seen his face, just the focus in his eyes, the determination, how badly he wanted to compete, how sad he was to look like a loser in some of those games. it meant so much to him. So it can't be just pure determination. It can't be.
No, but I mean, it's like, there's a bit of that, but also just a different mindset. When, like I was saying, when I just sit around, I've just had a load of pizza, I'm listening to music, and then I'm playing the game, and then maybe someone in Japan is like, has a chair that's perfect for gaming, they've been playing all day, they're upright, they're focused. Maybe you just can't beat someone where their mindset
They're like
something.
in a quiet room, so there's no focus. There's pure focus. It's just zen.
Yeah, they just put themselves in a different mindset and are in a different environment where it's just like they've got an advantage already before you even started. Just because I've just been watching Breaking Bad, maybe I've had a beer, and I'm just, I'll give Mario Kart a go. Oh, I lost. Oh, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I don't care. Like, that's more the mindset.
I need that mindset. Just once, I would like to be that good. But I also have the theory it can't be that much fun to be that good either. It really can't.
No. I would say we probably enjoy it a bit more. In general, anyway. I mean, you know, you had your tournament of Mario Kart 7. That was fun. I mean, I didn't win, but I don't care, whatever. But I still had fun.
Well, that was a little different. That was...
Yeah, that was meant to be competitive as well. God. I'm still upset about how that went. I'm sure I've talked about this to you before, but on that Rainbow Road, I got hit by a bullet bill right at the end. Right at the end. I was so annoyed.
I was just happy I won that Rainbow Road. I needed one bright, shining spot in my otherwise disastrous record.
I know, I was right behind you for the whole race. Like, I think what happened is that I was right behind you at the back of the pack, and then I just followed you to the front. And then you were in first place, I was in second, fighting off everyone behind me. And then that kind of let you, like, first place, woo! And I was just managed to grab second.
Well, that's usually how, if I coast end to end, that's usually what I think is happening, is like, second place, third place, and fourth place, they're all attacking each other, and they're not really thinking, you know, they're all so busy trying to get in front of each other that there's no time to attack first place, and he can just coast.
Yeah, I think that's a lot worse in Mario Kart 8 as well. With the way the item balancing is, and with 12 different people, I think it's a lot easier to get out in front and then stay out in front than it was in the previous ones.
Well, that's why the blue shell is the great equalizer.
Yeah. So like, Mario Kart 8 is the first one where I'm like, yeah, we totally need the blue shell.
Blue shell. Yeah, you totally need it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Right, I think we're actually kind of out of news items. So, you've been playing anything recently?
A lot of Dark Souls.
You still playing Dark Souls? I thought you were...
Playing Dark Souls 2. I got really bad. I beat the game, but then I sort of got back into it. For a moment I was curious. I did with Dark Souls 1. I started the New Game Plus just for a little bit. I didn't go deep into it, just to see what it was like and how much harder it really got. And I was going to do the same thing for Dark Souls 2 when I started for probably the first time in forever. This isn't something I normally care about in games, which other people are obsessed with. I actually looked at my trophies and my achievements. And I know other people are obsessed with it. They even go to the point where they hate Nintendo because they don't have achievements and they think it's fucking stupid. But I just think achievements are pointless, and at best they're an invented challenge that you could have invented yourself, but they've made it up for you, and that's nice that you have a little checklist that you can do it. Okay, that's all great, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all of a game. But yeah, so I looked at it, and I realized that on this checklist, I was only like 4 or 5 trophies away from getting 100%, which I haven't done for any game. I don't have any platinum trophies on my PS3. So I'm like, well, this can't be that hard now, can it?
Sure. Why not?
I'm only a few away. I've gotten all these other ones, just naturally playing the game, so it can't be that hard. So I looked them down, and I'm like, most of them are just collect some spells, or, have a great sword. So I upgraded my sword, and I unlocked that one, and I beat all the bosses, and I get in closer and closer. And then I get down to the ones where it's like, collect all the sorceries, collect all the magic, collect all the hazes or the pyromancy, and I'm like, okay, this shouldn't be that hard. I just have to look them up where they are, and I'll go pick them up, and that's it. I win.
Easy.
Sounds easy enough. But then I start looking up the conditions to get these things. And some are like, you can only get it on New Game Plus. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I was going to start it anyways. I'll just use helpers or whatever to get me there. But then it's like, oh, well, if you start New Game Plus, then you can't get this one, or this one, or this one. So I have to strategize before I start New Game Plus to make sure I get all these other ones first. So I start doing that, and then I have to trade in some boss souls, and then I'm writing it all down. I'm just like, okay, do any of these boss souls make sure I can't get another item? And I think they planned it out that it doesn't work that way, but I just wanted to be sure didn't need to duplicate anything stupid. And then, I just started getting obsessed with it. And then one step led to another and another. And I feel like I'm so close. But then, now I'm stuck on beating this optional boss. And it's just driving me nuts. Because if I can beat this boss, then I can start New Game Plus. But I can't do it because I don't know if you've ever played Dark Souls 2, but you need these human effigies, and I've totally ran out, and it's not easy to farm them, and I don't know where to find more from, and I'm losing my fucking mind.
See, that's one of the reasons why I didn't like Dark Souls when I tried it. I didn't hate it, but I couldn't get invested, because it's like, oh, it seems like I can get to a certain checkpoint in this game and then be screwed. Like, I don't like the idea of being put in an impossible decision because I didn't pre-plan correctly.
If you're trying to... If just playing the game itself, no, you'll never end up in a situation like that. But, like, if you're trying to knock off all these trophies and these achievements or unlock every item in the game, then you might end up in a situation like that. Because, like, I need to beat this boss now on this playthrough, because if I start over New Game Plus while the boss is still there and I can still get the same item, he'll be twice as hard. And if I can't do it right now, I'm definitely not going to do it on fucking New Game Plus. Yeah. And like, this is one of those bosses that I can't even summon help for. It requires an item just to get to him, and I've run out of them. And I've already I should just give up, to be honest with you, but I feel like I've already invested so much time into getting these stupid trophies that, like, you'd be dumb to stop now. I'm so close! I'm so close! I just have to do this and then beat the game 1.5 more times, and then I'm done!
Easy! Just
shouldn't be that hard.
That's an afternoon. Oh,
I just want my first ever platinum trophy, and I just thought it would be cool if it was in one of the hardest games to ever get it in. My only platinum trophy is in Dark Souls 2.
That would be cool. But I don't get the praise with Dark Souls. Like, people's like, oh, it's hard like older games, but it does not sound like it's hard like older games at all. It sounds like you've just got to read stuff online and then make sure you grab a certain item, rather than replay the same boss to get better at it. No,
yet again, that example, reading stuff online, looking stuff up, that's if you want to find extra items, or if you want to learn stuff. For actually beating the bosses, if you just play this game blind, like an old school game, then that's exactly how it plays. You go in, you fight this boss, and you will die, and you will die, and you will die, until you learn how to beat this boss. You can beat any boss with the shittiest weapon possible if you learn how to play against the boss. Believe me, I've watched Argon Matrix do it with that shitty goddamn Morning Star. It frustrated the hell out of me because he has other weapons in his inventory that were so much better, but he was determined to beat him with a crappy weapon. And by God, he did it, and it was exciting when he did. We probably watched him like 100 times, learning each time how this boss moves, when he's gonna strike, when he's gonna do this, how you roll, which direction to roll, when to block, when to go. There's so many things that can get you killed, and you have to learn each boss every time. And if you can do that, then yeah, you can. It's a lot of fun, and it's a very fulfilling when you finally learn to win. So
okay, I like the sound of that, but I played Dark Souls 1, and that really wasn't what I played.
I don't know why you feel that way, because Dark Souls 1 feel the same way.
Well, it's that boss on the early on. I didn't play that much, but it's that boss on that bloody where you have the two kind of tower things, and then you have this big boss, and the best way to do it is to climb up to the top of one of them, and then jump on down. It's like a bit before the dragon that burns the bridge, and you got to be quick.
Oh, that's like the first real. Well, I guess there's the other boss. I guess it's the second boss of the game.
I just felt
and you got stuck on that.
I didn't get stuck, but I didn't. A mate of mine was just like, yeah, just stab him from above and then slash him a load, and I was like, oh. Because when I just tried to do it head-to-head, there was I couldn't get like a pattern down. It just seemed like he just would just murder you, and I just couldn't kind of figure out a way.
If you're not gonna, the best strategy is to climb up there. That's why the ladder's there, and they teach you about plunging, falling in the first boss. So yeah, that's the way you're supposed to do it. But you don't have to do it that way. If you want to just battle this guy right on, then the best way to do it is stay in close, and as he swings, you would go between his legs, and you gotta try to stay behind him. And for most bosses, I would say it's best to stay towards the left of his sword, the opposite side, whichever way he swings with. Try to stay far out of their reach. Yeah, so that's just what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta roll under their hits.
But it just felt too clunky. Like, whenever I would roll, the guy would just be way too clunky, and it just didn't feel
If he's clunky
right.
and doing a fat roll, that's because you have too much armor on. There's so many factors that come into the game. You could be overweight, you could have a different kind of armor. There's
but that's
all
what
sorts
I'm
of things.
talking about, though. Then it's not skill, it's knowledge. It's like, you gotta know all these little things to go into it. Which obviously people do by looking online. Yeah, but that you can learn
on your own. You don't have to look that up. That's all in-game stuff. Like, you just look it up how much this weighs and this weighs, and, you don't have to look that stuff up.
Right. I mean, I'm never going to play it again, because after that boss bit, I did that part so many times. Obviously, once the boss dies, he dies, and that's it, and that's cool. But, kicked my glass of water. But I did that one section up to where the dragon is so many goddamn times. And then I finally got past the dragon, went down the steps. But those enemies that are meant to get killed by the dragon's fire didn't die. So they just chased me. And I just couldn't fight them because I was already pretty weak. And then apparently because I was running away, I ran into a new area. I got poisoned. And then was just running around. And then just died. And then went all the way back. And then
if you start to run, you will die. You cannot run in that game, that's for sure.
But if I fought them, I would have got killed because there was too many. And then my mate, the same mate, was like, "Yeah, there's a ladder that you can create a shortcut to." And it was like, well, the game glitched out, the game messed up, so I couldn't explore the area, and I didn't know there was a ladder.
Mess up. The guys just. I don't know. I've never seen that happen, actually.
I know, so it was if that can mess up, if there can be that mistake, that means I don't get a chance to just get the checkpoint. And because I didn't get the checkpoint, I gave up on the game. It's I'm not doing it again. I already put myself through so much. It's not my fault I didn't know there was a ladder there and I didn't get the time to explore, so fuck it. So I sold it, and then that was my time with Dark Souls done.
The others... That's the fun of the game, is having to do it again. You're being, I don't know.
I did that multiple times, that part, memorizing it all, finding the best thing. And then once I found out that it was a problem with the game not running right, I was like, no, I'm done. If it was just me sucking, I can accept that, I can get better. But because the game messed up, it's well then, if it's gonna mess up like that, I can't get invested in this. so I had to kind of call it a day. So maybe I should pick up Dark Souls 2 because Dark Souls 1 is now tainted to me, or Demon Souls. Maybe I'll give one of those games a try and see if I can get invested, but...
Most people would agree that Dark Souls 1 is probably the hardest of the three.
Well, it wouldn't be so hard if it did it correctly, if the guys died when they were meant to.
Most people would say Dark Souls 2 is made for more of a casual gamer. There's a lot more optional bosses to skip and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Maybe that's what I'll do. Go Dark Souls 2, then go back to Dark Souls 1. But I honestly just don't have the interest at this point. So, well, I'll just have to wait and see. Maybe one day though. Right. So, yeah, I think that's a podcast right there.
That's a podcast.
I saw that this week or last week or whatever that you had Nintendo Capri-Sun in your Let's Play, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was very gracious of him to join me.
Yeah, that was I checked out those parts. It's kind of a shame that it was post commentary because the way you play, you're very interactive with your commentary when it comes to the actual gameplay. But you know, it's still.
I was so disappointed when he told me his recording screwed up, and I was just like, oh. But he's Nintendo Capri-Sun. What am I gonna do? Chew him out?
You amateur! You'll never get anywhere with this.
You're never gonna make it in this business if you screw.
Gotta fuck your ideas up. So. But it still worked out though, in the end.
It still worked out, yeah.
Yeah. But it's quite interesting with Nintendo Capri-Sun. He's a Let's Player, and he's talked for hours and days on end, but he's actually kind of a bit like a quiet guy.
He is. That's the thing. I've noticed that even when he's co-commed with other people, is if it's not his LP... he doesn't seem to... Even on the Runaway guys, look how much in the background he goes, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't really want to take the spotlight away, I think. He's like that in real life, too, He's just I'll chip in... if a bunch of people are standing there and having a conversation, he'll be part of it, but he more chips in, just little jokes every once in a while, or he'll bring up something he knows about, but... he won't really be the leader of the conversation.
I think it's where, when he did that race with A Link to a Past, it's where a lot of the hate towards Def 88 came from. It was he was talking a lot, but Nintendo Capri-Sun, like you said, is the guy chipping in, just kind of relaxing, just joining in when he does or when he wants to. And then in the same video, you had the other guy who was new and nobody knew talking a lot, and I think that gave this impression of... him taking over.
It didn't really... Yeah. Death E, I've met him in real life, I've talked to him and stuff like that, and that is the way he is. He talks a lot, and he's a very overpowering in conversation, and he's not doing it to be mean or rude or to steal the spotlight. It's just who he is, and you either accept that or you don't, It's just... He talks a lot, and he wasn't doing it to shut everybody else up. It's just Nintendo Capri-Sun is just that much more quiet that it was the two different, gigantic separations. Somebody that talks a lot and NCS who doesn't.
Yeah, it was the extremes that made it whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But it's still cool, though, that NCS is one of the few, I would say, big Let's Players who still really interacts with the smaller communities, though.
Yeah,
he's definitely I would say he's the Let's Player, if you know what I mean.
He could have, I asked him when he was here at Con Bravo, and I could have asked him 3 years ago when I first met him, but I wasn't gonna bother him or anything, but I felt like I've seen him enough and we've had enough personal conversation by now that I felt like I deserved to at least ask him a favor, and if he said no, he said no. I wasn't gonna be oh, but come on, Nancy, I've known you for 3 years, man. I deserve this. Come on. You know?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do that or cry or bitch. He said no. That was his choice, you know? But he said yes, and he came on, he did, and I was very happy he did. It was nice.
Yeah, because he's the only one that you get the impression he really does love Let's Playing, to the point where he'll watch anyone that he thinks is good. Like, you get other people, I think I remember Chugga Conroy being asked, who do you watch? And it was just, you know, who you could predict all the people he said he watched, like Attacking Toucans, Josh Jepson. It was very basic.
He just said a
list.
bunch of names that he knows, and you don't even really know if, like, he maybe watches them, but maybe he just knows the name, and so he says it, right?
Yeah.
When NCS lists off some people he watches, sure, he'll say some names, but, like, he's also the guy that will walk around at a con wearing a P-Call shirt because he truly loves watching P-Call, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, he's just that kind of guy. He truly likes Let's Playing and watching LPs and stuff.
Yeah. No, it's just really awesome that he can reach that level to success, but not take himself out of the community like certain YouTubers like to do. I'm not naming names, but you know what I'm talking about. But no, that is now a podcast, so what's going on with your channel next week?
More Wind Waker.
Sure.
More Drawn to Life. And, more... What the hell else am I doing?
Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, yeah.
That game, you know.
Wow, how did I forget that one? Yeah,
you know the one.
Yeah, the one that's... Oh, my God. I hate Pokemon Emerald. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm afraid, so that's the early verdict is in, that I hate this game. Very, very much.
Awesome. Well, that's good for us. Not for you, but...
Yeah, oh yeah, it's good for you guys, but it's going to be horrible for me. I feel like everything I've learned in Fire Red and Soul Silver has not prepared me for Emerald. And, like, it's funny, because, like, I read a comment just before I got to the second gym, which is already posted now, and somebody just said, like, they in their opinion, the gym leaders, not the gym itself, just the gym leaders, are probably the hardest in the whole series in this game. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can totally, 100% agree with that right now.
I guess they are thinking about it. I'm just trying to think of my own LP, but it's been quite a while. But yeah, I actually did have a lot of trouble, especially with, I think, the 5th one. So look forward to that. That's gonna be...
God!
and then the 4th
if anybody's
one...
not seen, I've had trouble with the second one.
Yeah.
So, and let's just say I've already pre-recorded a bunch more weeks ahead with a new podcast person, and
Oh.
I've got a new person there, and who knows, you might show up on this LP at some point.
Woo.
I'm going to have a whole bunch of different people, but let's just say if you thought I had trouble with the second one, just wait till I get to the third one.
Yeah, I actually never thought about that, but Emerald probably is the hardest. Because
It doesn't make sense, too, because, like, I went through all the guys in the gym with not much of a problem. And usually that's an indication that I'm going to be okay. Usually the gym leader's harder, but not that much harder.
No.
I can usually get a sense that, like, okay, I'm going to have some trouble coming up. But I went through all the regular guys standing in the gym with no problem. I'm beating all the other little trainers along the way with no problem. But when it comes to the gym leader, it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I think Soul Silver, I think the only hard ones are the second one and the 8th one, and the rest is not too bad.
I remember the 8th being hard.
Yeah, then the second one is the normal type gym with the milk tank.
Everybody told me that was going to be hard, but it wasn't.
See, yeah, I can't remember how you beat him, but I always have trouble with milk tank.
But I have to say, I think my only help was the help of the fans that time. They all told me to go get that
Heracross.
Heracross, yeah. They all told me to turn back and get the Heracross, and I think he saved my ass.
Yeah.
So this time, I don't think I have that.
No.
Especially when I'm getting to the third gym. It's an electric type gym, and
Oh yeah, the electric type. Yeah, that can be a bitch if you don't have.
Electric's only weak to one thing to begin with, and I have not seen hide nor hair of any of this typing anywhere for me to capture. So
I think you would go with an Argon if you were to do it.
That's a rock type, not a ground.
Yeah, but it can learn ground.
It
attacks.
learns one move, and it's not very strong.
Oh, you've already done your research.
I've already captured it. In today's episode, I got the Argon, and like I said, or Aron, or whatever the hell it's called. In today's episode, I capture it, and like I said, I've already pre-recorded up to the third gym, so yes, it has learned some moves, and doesn't work out so well.
Oh, awesome. Good to know. Can't wait.
Just basically, it's one of those, oh, that's all it does? Yeah.
Cool. Well, for me, same old for me next week, but I just want to mention that I did my first stream Saturday night. And had a little wine, played a few video games, and it was really fun. So in the future, I'm going to be doing more streams. So
I look forward to it. I'm sad I missed that one.
Yeah, it was half an hour of Destiny not working, and then pissing around with Rayman Legends, because that's what I have. You love it. You can't get enough. But yeah, so in the future, more streams, although probably not for a while, because I'm a bit busy, but at some point, streams.
Yay for streams.
Yay. So thank you very much for joining me, Cows.
No problem.
Proto, you racist, you go to hell. And we will see you next week.
We will?
Actually, maybe, I don't know. I'll be here. You might be. Joe will be again.
Alright.
Cool.
Whenever. Alright.
Moo.
On with you.
I'm sitting your moo.
Moo. Outro. Podcast. Boom.